Namaskar Bondhugan. Welcome back to my YouTube channel Sahil Educations. Hope you have enjoyed learning the definition of carbohydrates. Now it's time to classify or to learn the classification of carbohydrates, that types of carbohydrates. So there is no fun in describing the types of carbohydrates. We all have studied that carbohydrates basically can be divided into three major types. One is monosaccharide, another one is oligosaccharide, and this is polysaccharides. Some books also says that these two groups comes under compound carbohydrates. Well, if we see the monosaccharides alone, then we'll if we see the monosaccharides alone, then we have to know that what is monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are also called as simple sugars. That means if we break one piece of table sugar into various fragments, and the smallest fragment will be one molecule of glucose. In that way, monosaccharides are the simplest sugars, the simple sugars which are formed of only one molecule of saccharide, only one molecule of saccharide. And the one molecule of saccharide may be composed of 3 carbons, 4 carbons, 5 carbons, 6 carbons, 7 carbon, 8, 9 and 10. Basically, it has been seen that animals do contain monosaccharides with 3 to 7 carbon atoms. Apart from animals, there are 8 carbon monosaccharides, 9 carbon monosaccharides and 10 carbon monosaccharides also. It is also possible to produce a molecule of saccharide, monosaccharide, with 1000 carbon atoms. But it is very vast, it is very hectic. So this kind of monosaccharide is not present, but it is possible to produce if you want to produce it by your own. There question comes that is it possible to produce a monosaccharide with 2 carbon atoms only? No. The answer is no. There is no possibility to produce a monosaccharide or to be a monosaccharide with only and only 2 carbon atoms. Why this comes? This comes because one monosaccharide or one carbohydrate molecule must contain a functional group, at least one functional group, and two or more hydroxyl groups. So if we observe, if we see that one of the functional group will involve 1 carbon and 2 hydroxyl groups must involve 2 carbons. So there is a basic need of at least 3 carbon atoms to produce a monosaccharide. That is why a monosaccharide with 2 carbon atoms or less than 2 carbon atoms is not possible. But above 2, that is 3 carbon monosaccharide, 4 carbon monosaccharides, 5 carbon monosaccharides are possible and are present in animals also. And we have already said that in animals there are possibilities of presence of 3 to 7 atom containing carbohydrate molecules, that is monosaccharides. Okay, so if we draw this thing, if we draw the 2 carbon monosaccharide, if it is possible or not. Just see, 1 2 2 carbons. If we attach one of the functional group, if we write it as CHO, the functional group, and the second carbon is left to attach with hydroxyl group, there is yet one hydroxyl group is to attach, so there is no space, isn't it? In this way it is confirmed and it is obvious that 2 carbon monosaccharide is not possible. So let's divide this monosaccharide from 3 carbon atom. Okay, 3 carbon atom containing monosaccharide is triose, 4 carbon tetrose, 5 carbon pentose, 6 hexose, 7 heptose. See, 3 carbon containing monosaccharide is triose, 4 carbon containing monosaccharide is tetrose, 5 carbon monosaccharide is pentose, 6 carbon containing monosaccharide is hexose, and 7 carbon containing monosaccharide is heptose. Let's come to an example of all these. Example, if we see the example, triose C3H6O3, tetrose C4H8O4, pentose C5H10O5, hexose C6H12O6, heptose C7H14O14, sorry, O7. Okay, these are the formulas of the examples. Now the names comes. 3 carbon containing monosaccharide is glyceraldehyde. Tetrose, 4 carbon containing monosaccharide is erythrose. Five carbon containing monosaccharide is ribose, which is present in DNA or RNA. 6 carbon containing monosaccharide is glucose, common example of sugar, glucose or fructose. And 7 carbon containing monosaccharide is pseudoheptulose. Okay, I must write it here. Pseudoheptulose. Okay, so these are the examples of different monosaccharides, or composed of different number of carbon atoms varying from 3 to 7. So let's come to the monosaccharides with 8 and 9 carbon atoms. Okay. There are some monosaccharides with 8 carbon atoms, octoses, 9 carbon nonos. What are the examples or formula? Must be C8H16O8, nonos C9H18O9. What is the name of these things? Name of these things are octolose and 9 carbon containing sialose. These things are for your extra information no one is going to ask you about the monosaccharide containing 9 carbon atoms or 8 carbon atoms. There are 10 carbon atom monosaccharides also present. But the basic thing is you have to remember the examples of at least 7 carbon atom monosaccharides, in which the ribose, glucose, glyceraldehydes, tetrose, that is erythrose, are important to you. So move forward. Moving forward to oligosaccharide. Some books also say that oligosaccharides are divided into first disaccharide, okay. Some books also say that oligosaccharides are again divided into disaccharides and then other oligosaccharides. Other oligosaccharides must be trisaccharide, tetrasaccharide, pentasaccharide and all that. So you have to know that oligosaccharides are composed of more than 2 molecules of saccharides, molecules of monosaccharides actually. Okay. So if we see 2 molecules, or there is glucose plus galactose. Glucose plus galactose. This is a disaccharide as well as it is a oligosaccharide. It is an oligosaccharide. In this way, oligosaccharides are composed, or oligosaccharides may have 2 to 20 monosaccharides. 2 to 20 monosaccharides. That is, 2 molecules of glucose can combine with each other to produce an oligosaccharide. 3 molecules of glucose can combine with each other or bind with each other to produce an oligosaccharide. 4 molecules of glucose, 5 molecules of glucose, and will so on till 20 molecules of monosaccharides. If we jump to the polysaccharides, then we'll see some other things. Polysaccharides. One is Homopolysaccharides and another one is Heteropolysaccharides. Homo is always means same kind of things. Homo means same kind of things. Same kind of monosaccharides are going to bind with each other to prepare a polysaccharide. Then this is homopolysaccharide. If different kind of monosaccharides, different kind of molecules of saccharides, monosaccharides, are going to join with each other, then this can be called as heteropolysaccharides. So there comes one thing, that what is the thing that is being used here to bind, to attach those monosaccharide molecules. For this you have to learn about first of all isomers. Then you will get to know about alpha glucose, alpha fructose, alpha D glucose, alpha D fructose, beta glucose, beta fructose, beta D glucose and beta D fructose. You have to learn about those isomers first, and then you will be able to understand beta 1,4 linkage glycosidic bond and alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond, alpha 1,2 glycosidic bond, 1,3 glycosidic bond. There are some bonds which are like alpha 1 and beta 4. So you will get to know about all these bonds in a later part of the series. That's all for today. Please comment if you like the video, and if you don't like, then also you may comment. Your comments are highly appreciated. Thank you. See you in the next video.